Coming off the criticism that The Force Awakens was a glorified remake, Rian Johnson makes sure that no one ever has that complaint again. Hey everybody, Alex here for Nerdy Inc., coming at you with a review of Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Rey, Finn, Poe, and Kylo Ren return in an adventure that is as entertaining as it is baffling. Chock full of new characters, new ideas, and a disregard for the previous no CGI creatures rule, Johnson creates a film that is one of the most unique entries in the Star Wars canon ever made. Following two fairly isolated plot lines, this film really is a mixed bag. I'll say right up front, I really liked, if not loved, the entire Rey, Luke, Kylo Ren storyline. It allayed every fear I had about an Empire Strikes Back rehash, developed the characters in new and surprising ways, and delivered one of the most satisfying series of character arcs in a Star Wars film. Every character is conflicted, every character has depth, and every character grows in ways that make me excited for the next chapter in the Star Wars saga. It answers all the right questions in all the right ways, and never devolves into the been there, done that storyline I was worried about. That being said, the Finn, Poe, Rose new character storyline is a lot weaker. With the plot simplicity of Mad Max Fury Road, but without any of the style or action, this plot is really in need of some editing. When Rey's story reaches its climax, we still have a lot of story left for the Resistance. Trimming down and retooling a handful of elements of this story would have greatly benefited the film and made for a more powerful conclusion. On top of that, there are a lot of elements in this story that are really dumb. What's the music? Why is this playing? Oh no! Plot points, visuals, and Pokemon aside, the big question that's always asked this time of year is, does it feel like Star Wars? My answer is, when the movie's working, absolutely. Rey's story strikes the most natural Star Wars tone since Return of the Jedi, and it earns its place in the Star Wars pantheon without question. The story of the Resistance, not so much. With some heavy tonal shifts, this feels like something completely different. This different tone is certainly not a detriment. There are ideas in there, as long as you're okay with something that feels like nothing we felt before. Now before we move into spoilers, I just want to say one last thing, particularly about the theater-going experience, which is, shut up. If you want to applaud when the opening logos come, okay, that's fine. If you want to applaud at the end of the film, sure, go ahead. But you don't need to applaud every single time a character walks on screen that you recognize, every time a ship goes into lightspeed, or every time someone ignites their lightsabers. It's not fun, it's just obnoxious. Please shut up. Anyway, on to spoilers. The big issue with this film is the Resistance plot pretty much from start to finish. It honestly feels like a video game. From Poe shouting about the necessity of flying around and taking out all the cannons, to Maz Kanata giving Finn a quest to travel to a location, find a person, and bring him back, I felt like I was watching a lackluster Bethesda Let's Play. On top of this, the Monte Carlo planet didn't really feel alien enough to be part of Star Wars. I hate that I have to use Attack of the Clones in a positive way, but at least that CD bar felt like it belonged in the world. When you couple this with the incredible amount of nothing going on in the generously labeled chase scene, the storyline is really lacking some structure. When Rey and Kylo finish up their Snoke/Guard battle, the movie feels like it's winding down, but we still have another half hour of walkers left to contend with. Ideally, the movie should have trimmed down the casino and the chase to allow for the walker confrontation to happen while Kylo and Rey are having their encounter. As it is now, Rey is just kind of absent from that last battle. Having these events occur simultaneously would have given Rey a greater sense of urgency. Sure, some elements would have needed retooling, but after the triumphant conclusion to Rey's story, this would have made for a more ideal finale. The biggest plus to this film is that it didn't attempt some grandiose plot twist. The several smaller twists were far more effective and kept me on the edge of my seat as is. I was shocked that Kylo Ren actually killed Snoke, but it also 100% fits with his character. After all, he's a more impulsive, more out-of-control version of Darth Vader. Vader didn't kill Palpatine then offer Luke a spot at the throne, but Kylo Ren has no such patience. Act now, think later. In character, but surprising all the same. The big question walking out of the theater is going to be, was Kylo telling the truth about Rey's parents? In talking to my friends, it's been a fairly mixed bag of people believing him or not. Though The Force Awakens hinted at some less than humble beginnings, the idea that she could be born of nothing is way more interesting, and I hope they don't retcon it. Frankly, I think Kylo's telling the truth, and that final scene of the movie, when I'm pretty sure that kid uses the Force on that broom, confirms this. Something from nothing has always been present in Star Wars, and it's one of the things that makes it so relatable. Finally, and I'll stop rambling after this, we do have to say goodbye to Luke. Luke is revealed to be far more flawed than we expected, and that's what makes his send-off so great in this movie. It's incredibly powerful to see him make peace with his own failures, and finally acknowledge that there is a place for Jedi in the universe. He's not the last Jedi. They're back, and they're worth fighting for. And those are our thoughts on Star Wars: The Last Jedi. If you have thoughts of your own, let us know in the comments down below. And as always, for more games, comics, movies, and more, keep it right here on Nerdy Inc.